Has this new year started off with a significant technical development for gold? Jim Wyckoff joins me next. Jim, nice to see you. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you, Daniela, and Happy New Year to all of our Kitco readers.
So, Jim, let's begin. Do we have good news to start off 2013?
Well, Daniela, it could be good news. We overall in the gold and silver markets, the bears do have the near-term technical advantage. We saw prices Friday drop to a multi-month low. However, there is an early clue in both gold and silver that Friday's lows may have marked a near-term bottom for both markets. Not quite ready to say that's the case yet. What we had on Friday was both markets spiked to a fresh for-the-move low. But by the end of the day, especially in the gold market, prices had rebounded off that spike low and ended nearer the daily high. What that suggests is that at those lower price levels, at that spike low that we saw in gold and silver, the bears became exhausted at those lower price levels, didn't have any more gas to push prices on the downside, and by the end of the day, prices had drifted back higher. Now, for those potential selling exhaustion tails, which would be bullish, for those to be confirmed or more better able to recognize, both gold and silver prices on Monday would have to close higher. So as we speak right now, gold's trading right around unchanged, silver a little bit higher. So if we get some strong price action into the close today, that's going to be an early technical clue that those markets did put in near-term lows on Friday.
So a critical time now for gold, Jim.
I think so. Near term, yes. Now, importantly, I talk about a near-term basis. That's looking at the daily charts. The bears do have the near-term technical advantage still. I'm giving both gold and silver a Wyckoff's market rating of 4, which does lean toward the bearish camp. However, when you look at especially gold from a longer-term basis, if you're a longer-term investor in the gold market, prices are still in an 11 or 12-year-old uptrend on the longer-term monthly chart, and this most recent price action we've seen to the downside is nothing more than another corrective pullback in a longer-term bull trend.
Okay, so that's important to emphasize, Jim, that gold is still continuing its bull run.
Right. I always try to look at the markets from the perspective of a shorter-term trader and a longer-term investor, and I think that's important.
So, Jim, you said a 4 rating for both gold and silver. What are some key resistance levels you're looking at for both metals?
Well, in the for February COMEX gold, we've got solid overhead resistance at last week's high of 1695 and change, and we've got solid support at last week's low of 1626. For March COMEX silver, we've got overhead resistance at last week's high of 3153.5, and we've got solid support at the $29 level.
So, Jim, how would you play this right now? Is this a good buying opportunity for gold?
Well, I think looking at it from a longer-term investment standpoint, yes, I do think gold right now is a value buying opportunity. We may have some more room on the downside. My bias is, though, that the longer-term price trend is going to remain up until longer-term technicals tell me otherwise, and we haven't seen that yet. For a shorter-term trader, more active trader, I want this market, I want both gold and silver markets to show me some near-term technical signals that this market might have put in a bottom, and if we do get those higher closes today, that's going to be an early one.
Finally, Jim, what do you think has been adding to this pressure on gold?
Yeah, I think, well, going into the end of the year, I think you had some long liquidations, some week-long liquidations whereby traders and investors that just didn't have good profits, they just exited at the end of the year. I think for the raw commodity sector in general, I think the first quarter of this year may see some new speculative money flow in from bigger fund type traders, and I think that could be uplifting to both gold and silver.
Good thoughts, Jim. Finally, final thoughts for investors.
Well, I think just look at those daily charts that I produce on Kitco. Those are going to give the trader and the investor some early clues on how those markets might be trending.
Jim, thanks so much. We'll see you next week.
Thank you, Danielle, and bye-bye.
And thank you for watching this edition of Technically Speaking. You can email me any comments or questions at newsfeedback@kitco.com or tweet me at my handle at Daniela Camboni. Thank you for watching.